Hello, friends. Welcome to Leadership Go with the Brainy Leadership Team. I'm Michael Brainy, and today we also have another interesting episode. We are going to have it in a form of a conversation, and so I obviously have with me my guest here. We are welcome. Thanks for joining us. Thanks for being with us all this while. Once again, our main goal or vision is to raise leaders who are well oriented and equipped to live the right life or to lead the right way, normally paying attention to integrity. And we are grateful you've been with us all this while. Don't forget to subscribe and share if the videos are helpful. So, right away, I'll introduce my guest for today. He's a teammate in the Brain Leadership team, a very committed young man, knowledgeable as well. Say, you're welcome.
Thank you very much, Percy.
Yeah.
And it's a privilege to be here. My name is Evans Dominion, a teaching and research assistant at the University of Ghana Biochemistry Department. And in the previous years, during my stay on campus, served as president for Inactus, a student-led organization on campus, and was also the academic board head for the Ghana Biochemistry Student Association, and serve as a president also for my fellowship on campus.
Wow, interesting. I think that makes him a good candidate for our conversation today. Today, we want to look at leadership and continuity, and looking at him with the experiences he's had in his first degree, holding about three major positions before leaving. We want to start a conversation on how his leadership journey has been, how leadership should continue, and all of that, so that we better understand how transitioning of leadership should take place as leaders as we move on in our endeavor. So, Sir Evans, I want to start by asking you generally, what's your view on the continuity of leadership? Or when we say leadership is continuing, what does it mean to you, or what does it tell us?
Yes. So leadership continuity. I think it's a very important aspect of when it comes to organization, and in the sense that with leadership, personally for me, I define leadership continuity as the strategic positioning of competent people
Wow.
to take up the baton,
Okay.
to continue the vision of the said organization. So it's a key aspect of every organization.
Okay. Yes. Just before I forget, so you mentioned that is the strategic positioning of competent people.
Yes.
So I want two clarifications here. It means that the person taking over is much of a concern as the person leaving, if I should get it right.
Yes. It's very important. The person going and the person coming in, they are essential to the common vision or the
And
common
does it
vision.
apply to can it be applied to every organization, whether it's in business, corporate, education? Is it the same principles that play role?
Oh
And
yes, it does. No, personally for me, from my personal
yeah.
experience, having the opportunity to play a key role in the religious aspect, that's being a president
Yeah.
fellowship on campus, the business aspect,
Right.
that's with respect to Inactus as
Yeah.
an entrepreneurship group,
Right.
and also the academic aspect.
Okay.
And considering all these three, the need to find competent people to
Wow.
replace you, it's super important.
Wow.
I think without it, there'll be a collapse
All
in
right.
the vision and the goal.
All
So
right.
it works for every area.
All right.
Yes.
That's amazing. So my next question to you is, what should go into the whole concept of leadership continuity? Looking at the one who is coming to take in or fill in the gap, and the one who is leaving for another person. In context, what preparation should go in between them? So, using yourself as an example, you may even want to pick one of your organizations you led, and then explain to us what happened before you left? You and the one who took over you.
Yes. All right. So I think I will double back a bit to the one I took over from.
Right.
Yes. So I think in the course of the process, before I got to be at the forefront or be the president, I was acting as the assistant.
Okay.
All right. So indirectly, it served as a means of training where certain things were delegated for me to actually know and learn. All right. So I think one important thing when it comes to the one you are taking up from, all right, the responsibility, his responsibility is to actually train you. And most often, we have a lot of people who feel that the training should be like more of, okay, do A, do B, do C, do D. But mostly it's not the case. You know, there's a proverb, I don't know who said it, but it says we learn by doing, right? And the one handing over the baton should consciously delegate tasks, right, to the incoming, to learn how to do certain things and understand the overall vision, right? So in that way, when you come into the said position, you'll be able to know, okay, I've been through this hill and through this valley, and I know how to go about it. Yeah. So I think there should be a conscious effort on both sides, right? To train, and also the effort on the one incoming to kind of be ready to learn. Yes.
Wow. I think I agree with him, and I agree with you on the subject of leadership is by doing, or you learn by doing, because pe- me personally, I feel like the experience for everyone in terms of leadership is different.
Yeah.
As in, everybody has their unique way of leading. It
Right.
may be the same position, but the characteristics, the personality, and code that comes in is quite different, right?
Exactly.
So, I think it's an amazing point you've made. So, on the side of the one going, he should be able to train the one coming, not only in terms of doing this and that, but also learning the metrics, the ins and outs to deliver. And the responsibility of the one coming in is to avail him or herself to undergo the training to be able to grasp whatever is going on.
Yeah.
I'll come to my next question, but before that, let me ask this in particular one. Is it necessary?
Yes.
I want to know your view. Is it necessary that if I am coming in after you, I have to pursue your vision? To what, if I have to what extent? Or do I have to own my vision? What happens in that
Okay.
cases?
Yes, I think that's a very important question. Let me use myself as a case
Right.
study, obviously.
Yeah.
And let's say you are leading in the religious aspect. Let's say my time has been a president for a fellowship. Right now, the overall fellowship has a bigger vision, right, and a goal to achieve. However, if you come, you also have something sort of a mini vision, right? And so for every leader or every president who comes, right, there is a mini vision how you want the people to go for that particular year, right? However, that mini vision, in a way, fits into the overall vision,
Okay.
right? So in that, with respect to mini visions, you could all have different mini visions, right? However, it all focuses towards the bigger vision.
Wow.
Right? Yes.
Wow.
Focuses towards
Amazing.
the
So
bigger vision.
young leaders out there, these are key things that we should know. It is not compulsory to come and follow somebody's vision. I know I'll use the Constitution of Ghana as an example. So you are going to register an organization, or you are going to do something that has the Constitution has an effect on. What happens is that, using the organization as an example, the organization will abide by rules of the Constitution, yet the organization can also have a constitution to run its individuals, right? So that's the picture of he saying there is a mini vision. So the ultimate goal of the organization should not be deviated. That was a mistake I made some time ago,
Yeah.
and I regretted making that mistake. I was a head at that time in an organization, and there was this particular culture that went on in the organization. At my time, I felt like I needed to change it. So there was a conversation I had with the board, and I was speaking and speaking, and I told them, all these things are culture. I think it has to be changed. Then one of them
Okay.
stood up and said that he made a very profound statement. He says that sometimes it is this culture that has held the organization out to this level. So
Yeah,
you
yeah,
changing
yeah,
it,
yeah.
I totally agreed with him, and I regretted making that statement earlier on. So it's a good submission you've made. Thank you very much. We have to consider the ultimate vision and then work into it. Thank you. And my last but one question
Yes.
is on what would be your recommendation, because I think there are instances where people leave office and it's as if they had nothing to do with such position.
Yes.
So let's say I'm the managing director of a bank or a firm, and then my tenure is over or I retire or something, I'm out of position. Just to come back and help and all, people stay out. What is your recommendation for such situations? This one also with the one who is now filling their role and the one who is gone.
Yes, yes, yes. All right, thank you. So I think let me focus on the one leaving, right?
Yeah,
The one leaving.
yeah.
My recommendation, what John C. Maxwell
Yeah,
actually said, leadership is actually not about titles.
Right.
It's actually not about positions
Yeah.
or even flow charts in any organization, but the focus is about influencing people, right? So with the understanding that you are no longer in positioning, but then your leadership hasn't actually ended,
Okay.
right?
Okay.
It goes beyond that because, and even your leadership rather increases in the sense that you've been in the position, you've left, now your influence is much more greater, right? So you now have a bigger responsibility of influencing those currently in position, right?
Yeah.
Through advice
Yeah.
and through any way you could support them. So my recommendation would be for someone who have been in a leadership position. I think if somebody claims, oh, okay, I've left this position, so I have nothing to do with it, then the question that you should be asking is, did the person really understand what it meant to be in leadership?
Wow.
Yes, yes. So beyond that, you should be able to actually still influence. We are not saying be intruding in the operation of.
Excellent.
It's actually, it could be common. There's a
Yeah.
thin line, right?
Yeah.
Could be common where you are influenced, like
Yeah.
kind of let me say, disrupting the activities,
Yeah.
but you give them the space to operate, and then you come in to help or assist that way. So that should be the attitude to develop.
Wow.
those
Wow. So
practices
what
to
I'm
that.
taking from this is leadership is continuous. It doesn't
Yes.
end. So even though you may not be in office, it doesn't necessarily mean that you cannot contribute to whatever is going on. Thank you. As you spoke about mini vision, I have a mini question for you too as well.
Okay.
Yeah. So concerning this issue,
Yes.
I've had an experience where the one coming to fill in the gap had. Okay, so let's say you have two different people who are possible candidates to fill in a gap you are living in.
Okay.
Right? You are living.
Okay.
I think you had an experience, so you started laughing. so these two people know that either of them can be. Then at the
Yes.
end of vetting process or selection process, one is selected. The other feels you have not been fair to him or her to the extent that once you even come back to coach this one, he feels like you are intruding in the leadership of the organization. Have you had experience like that before? And if you've had, how did you handle this? If you haven't to, what do you think should be the focus in some of these situations?
Yes, 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 yes. In fact, I've experienced it in both ways. When I say both ways, the first way being maybe not being at the forefront, and then like but still being in the leadership position and feeling that I'm an external person, like someone who was once in leadership position, it's kind of more of intruding, right? Yeah. So there is a way you feel and all that, and then the second way, it's you living and now being careful, right? Maybe you do something, realize that no, it's like I'm overstepping.
Yeah. So
my
what's the
bounds.
line? How do you know? How do you know that you are not so that people's verdict cannot be true or cannot be false? So how do you know that I'm just helping, I'm not intruding, I'm not the one governing, I'm not the one leading? So that somebody who stands out there and say that you are intruding, you can stand on the grounds and say, no, I am not intruding. Is there a line that can be drawn?
Yes, a line can be drawn in the sense that your relationship with the person in power,
Yeah.
right? Let the ideas actually or whatever, give whatsoever you want to give more of as suggestions,
Okay.
right?
Right.
Give it as suggestion. So how about, would it be possible that, maybe an example,
Yeah.
would it be possible that the way things are going, if we do it this way, it would be good, right? So this time you are talking to the head, right? That, oh, it's a suggestion, you could take it or leave it, and just say, oh, think about it, right? So over here, you pose most whatever you want to your contributions as suggestions and questions rather than as commands or something. So I think once you are in a habit of, it's actually more being assertive, right? Once you're in a habit of posing them as suggestions for them to think about it. If they think about it and it's good, they want to input it, that's fine, they will. And in that situation, when the person is communicating it to the people, he doesn't communicate it as if he received it from an external source,
Right.
but he communicated it because he had a decision to think about it. That I believe this suggestion was given to me, yet I had the power to decide that this is where we want to go. So it's coming from me.
Wow.
Yes, it's coming
It,
from
it
me.
makes me remember
Yes,
my
yes.
my mentor, who is a co-founder at the Great Life Leadership Center. Anytime he's speaking to me, he says that this is just an advice. You can decide not to take
Yes,
it.
yes,
I
yes,
mean,
yes.
anytime he tells me something, he gives me suggestions. He just told me you can decide not to take it. It's not
Exactly.
compulsory. So
And I think you have the power to.
yeah. I think it's good. And for me, what I also add is that you also have to make sure that the person's unique vision is not tempered with. So in as much as you are mentoring and coaching, make sure that you don't tamper with that person's unique vision for run. Just like we spoke about many visions, it means that he or she might also come in with something. So as you mentor, you don't have to make sure it's crosses. Okay. Bringing our conversations to an end, I want you to speak to our audience, final words concerning this subject and any actions you would want them to take.
Right. So I think I'm reminded of a story where a couple, right, went to a dinner, and then at a fancy hotel, and then once the food was set before the man and the wife, the man oh, this is a nice food, let's start eating. And the wife said, oh honey, but you always pray before eating. And says, that's home. I am here at the restaurant. Home is different from here. So then again, the point I'm trying to put across has to do with self-awareness, right?
Right.
Self-awareness
Right.
in leadership.
Right.
The fact that maybe you are not in a position of power, or you were and have left, right? Should be conscious of the fact that your actions, your behaviors, and whatsoever you do, even after that, still influences and can impact
Right.
either positively or negative, right? So you need to be aware of that. So to me, I think that's what I can say. That would be my last.
Wow. Thank you so much. I believe you've learned a lot from this session, and these are great insights that happens at all levels. If you are a young person in high school, if you are a young leader in undergraduate, postgraduate, working in the corporate world, everywhere, spiritually, academically, all of that, these principles hold. And if you're a leader, you truly want to be successful, and for leadership to continue, you have to there's a man of God I knew who led a church, not to um, speak so much about him, but I'm just speaking the lesson I learned from him.
Yeah. Yeah.
He was very active. He did everything in the church. The only problem was he didn't prepare a successor.
Okay.
So he fell sick and died. Within 1 week, the church had collapsed. Argument upon argument. So these are key things. It does not matter your age. It's a principle. Once it works, you pick it up and work with it. Thank you so much, Sir Evans,
Yes.
for your time and for being with us.
Thank you. It's a pleasure to be here.
You're welcome. Hi, friends. So this is where we draw the curtains down for today's discussion. I'm Michael Brainy. I'm your friend. I love you and I want you to do well. Please do also subscribe and share with people that you think the video will be helpful to.